Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power. Welcome to Leagues Ahead. This is an absolute first for Leagues Ahead in that we're diving into a set that many thought would never happen. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have finally arrived, and they've got a full, medium-sized Magic set dedicated to them. The Arena Gauntlet League is running a full-length tournament on this set, and this is Leagues Ahead. This is the show where we talk about the future league offerings of the Arena Gauntlet League. I'm league founder Chris York and the current TO, and with me I have none other than Stephen H. Kraith, and he is joining us from the LC, and as a very special guest, he's also going to tell us about how he came to be the main designer on this set and all of the various mechanics that we're about to be treated to. So welcome, Stephen.
Thanks for having me.
So this is your first appearance on the show after joining the LC, and it's your first lead design. So let's first of all talk about what it is to be an LC member, what it is to have a lead on a design for a set, and what this meant to you in particular with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, so obviously I'm the newest member of the LC. I think it's been 4 or 5 months that I've been on so far. And as we were planning out 2026, usually we we pick somebody to lead each design of each league. So we were planning out, and no one had grabbed this one, and I thought it would be a good way to get my feet wet, kind of taking on a set that people aren't too sure about, and kind of putting my twist on it and seeing if I can make it somewhat interesting. To be a lead designer, you kind of have to be the initial proposal, and then from there the LC kind of collaborates on making it what everyone else sees. My initial proposal is not the same as the rule set is today, for example. I'm excited to talk about it and
Sure.
Present what I initially came up with and what we landed on and that sort of stuff. So
For those who aren't aware of Stephen's credentials, he's one of our new tech wizards on the LC and is responsible for some new server features that are quite popular with the player base, whether or not they take part in the main tournament offering. For example, the card art game is enabled by one of your bots, and so is the AGL draft machine. Let's just before we get into TMNT, maybe you could tell us a bit about your inventions, your initiatives that you brought to the league, and what those mean to you, and how do you think the reception's been so far?
yeah, that's good. So when I joined the LC, there were a lot of things that I had to kind of learn. Some administration stuff that needs to happen, the way we kind of track players, their wins, all that kind of stuff. And then there's the tech side that Steve has primarily run himself, and so I had to get myself familiar with it, which includes Discord bots to do a bunch of different stuff. And so I had the idea of trying to make my own as a way of teaching myself, some of the tech that goes on for the official league stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I think I was in the middle of a workout when I had the idea for the card art game. I was like, I should make a bot that just posts a picture of a Magic card, and then you have to guess it. And so I, created this thing, and I think I did it in one night. and I just shadow dropped it. And I woke up in the morning and there was like over 1,000 comments in the channel, and I was like, wow. So it was pretty cool. I made some improvements on it, but I've largely left that alone. As the core concept of that bot is pretty simple and doesn't really need to be touched or like improved on that much.
I think that's
But the draft
single-handedly
bot,
responsible
yes,
for a week lost of Richard Koffler's productivity, at least, and a few others. Jack H also seems to be a pretty heavy hitter in the card art game. When they're on there, I just take a back seat. I'm like the masters. Just show me how you can take a recognition that happens in the retina, it goes to the brain, comes out through your fingers on the keyboard. Sometimes I don't know how they do it. They
yeah,
can just
that's been one of the cool parts of creating this, is kind of seeing how intelligent some of the players in our community are.
you would never guess,
Um,
right?
I, I try to play the game myself, and I'm like, I can't remember the name of the most basic cards, and these guys are pulling out cards from 10 years ago out of their mind in seconds. It's crazy.
Yep. And the draft bot. What's the current state of affairs there?
Yeah, so the draft bot I created because I have a side event that I run, which is called the AGL Draft League, where it's kind of like the sealed league, except you do drafts with people in the community, and there's a leaderboard and all that. And so I wanted a way to kind of help organize those drafts. And so the draft bot started out as a way to kind of just join a queue in Discord, and then once it reaches 8 people, then you can go do the draft in Draftmancer. But I recently actually pushed an update to kind of automatically track the drafts like bracket. So like the rounds will post to a channel, and then once everyone reports their games, it'll post the next round automatically and stuff. So I'm hoping to improve that experience for my side event, as well as just random pods that people want to fire. But it's very hit or miss on the participation with that bot. But it's hard to find time for people to pod draft together. So
Yeah. All right, so that's a work in progress, I guess. And now that we've established your bona fides, we can talk about your choice to step up and take on the lead designer role in the LC for the rule set for the Arena Gauntlet League's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle tournament. Sometimes to be a hero, you don't have to step up. Everybody else just has to step back. And I feel like this set is the kind of set where most people were hesitant to step forward or to even just hold their ground, simply because the property isn't high fantasy in the traditional sense. It's sort of, even though Magic has Neon Dynasty, it's got ninjas, and it's got even turtles in it, right? Techno turtles or whatever. Um, and we've done some cyberpunk kind of stuff, and we've done some body horror mutation kind of stuff in sets. This is the reason I'm wearing, you can't see it right now, but I'm wearing my bathrobe. I have my proverbial bowl of cereal ready. This is a children's property, right, or is perceived as much. It's mostly kiddie stuff. Even though its origins were, sort of tongue-in-cheek, kind of dark. It's always read as kind of wacky, like a fever dream, time-traveling, anthropomorphized pet turtles battling space warriors from other dimensions, robot suits. So was it like just autobiographically, let's say, was this part of your past? Does this setting have a certain like nostalgic hold on you, or do you think that regardless of the setting, that the Wizards at Wizards of the Coast are going to be able to knock it out of the park regardless of what task corporate puts them up to?
I was more of a Power Rangers kid, so I do have some knowledge of this
Genre?
this genre, but I didn't dig too much into it as I could have when I was a kid.
Okay.
So
so to step up to the sort of role of the lead designer, did you look into some of the original comics, or did you go back and watch some of the movies, or did you dip your toe in the IP at all, in the ooze?
um, not too much. I did do some like Wikipedia research, but as far as actually consuming the content, that's not something that I did. But I kind of in my proposal for the rules, as you'll see, it's trying to not get too deep into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a core. So
Okay, well, let's get into it because if people are tuning in to Leagues Ahead, they're tuning in. They're tuning in for rules previews mostly. So, without further ado, Stephen, would you take us through the rules? Take us through a spoiler of what people can look forward to for the 6 weeks that are going to be following Lorwyn Eclipse. Because I tell you what, people need some good news. Bodies are dropping on the streets of Lorwyn. Lots of players are getting eliminated, and people are thinking about whether to re-up for the turtle set or whether to take a set off, as the prof seems to be advocating in his most recent video.
yep. So um, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as we know, is 6 weeks. However, and this is the first feature of the league, is we are actually splitting it into two seasons. So weeks 1 to 3 is going to be a 3 week league, and it will be treated as such. So if you play 15 matches and you're eliminated after 6 losses, and then the same for season 2 as well. And so the reason that I propose we do it this way is because we have one example of a small set with play boosters
Yeah.
ever, and that's Spider-Man.
Yep.
And some of the feedback from the Spider-Man League was it was just too long for the circumstances of the set, which is that it's a small set. There's less cards, so the number of duplicates goes up. The archetypes of which there are less show up more in decks. That sort of thing. So I thought that finding a way to tie these 2 3 week leagues together would be the best way to keep things interesting.
We chunked them. We got 2 tournaments. So
Exactly.
does that mean that if I'm eliminated in the first tournament, I'm also eliminated for the second tournament?
No. So if you are eliminated from the first season, you will automatically come back in the second season with a 0-0 record. You start fresh. Your pool will be different. We'll get into that later. But you will come back. You do not have to pay a second entry fee or anything. The one entry fee covers both seasons. So
So you get a pool reset halfway through.
that's right.
Let's get to the pools themselves then. One of the complaints we had about Spider-Man was that it was, well, too much Spider-Man. How did we deal with that concern moving ahead into TMT League?
Yeah. So to preface the pools, there is a core mechanic to this league, and it's mutation. So
What is mutation, Stephen?
mutation is anytime a pack is mutated, it takes each card in that pack and transforms it into any other non TMT Explorer legal card on Arena with the same rarity, color, mana value, and type. So, for example, if you have a 4 mana green creature, that would transform into another 4 mana green creature of the same rarity. And so the entire pack is mutated in this way. So this is kind of going to be recurring through a bunch of different mechanics of the league. And the first one is in the starting pool. So you get 6 TMT packs, but you have to choose 2 of them to mutate before you can start playing your games. So you will not have a full pool of TMT cards. You will have 4 TMT packs and then 2 mutated packs.
Right.
which I think will help kind of lessen the potential for samey pools, like too many duplicated cards
Yeah,
or
and
something like that.
some people claim, right, that wildcard use is a barrier to entry, but it might actually be easier on your wildcards if you've been playing for a while on Arena. At least you'll have 2 year packs, I think, probably fully or at least largely covered by your previous collection. Then you only have to collect cards for the remaining 4 packs, at least in the first instance, to cover your starting pool of TMT. So that sounds exciting. There's a little bit of play before play even starts, right? In the sense that, between the pool rolling on the Wednesday, which Wednesday is that? When are we rolling the pools?
Yeah, so we'll be rolling the pools at the same time as normal, which will be the Wednesday before the league starts. And you'll have those 2 days to decide. Well, I guess you'll have until your first game to
Right.
decide which 2 packs to mutate.
So that sounds exciting. Can you mutate them one at a time to kind of see what you get, or do you need to mutate both at once?
Um, I think the tech will probably have you mutate one at a time, but I'm
Okay.
not 100% on that because we haven't actually started working on the tech for it. So.
All right, so that's the first instance of mutation. What are the other instances of mutation, and how will they come up in the first tournament?
Yeah, so during the both seasons, the comeback mechanic, the comeback pack. So you will be getting TMT packs as a comeback pack. However, each season you'll be getting 3 mutagen tokens.
Lovely.
So this is a callback to like map tokens from previous leagues. But essentially,
they're a
these
little different,
mutagen tokens will allow you to take the TMT pack that you just opened and instead mutate it using the same rules as before. So if you decide, hey, this TMT pack isn't working for me, you can decide to use one of your 3 mutagen tokens and mutate that pack, and then you'll just get the result added to your pool.
Fantastic. Is there any, let's say, for example, I don't want to mutate any. Let's say I just love my turtle so much. Am I forced, other than the original starting pool, am I forced to mutate any packs after the first, or is it just as I decide?
So no, you are not forced to. So you can take up to 5 TMT packs to add to your pool if you choose not to use the tokens.
Okay. Although I think the odds are there'll be some dud packs, and that most people will at least be incentivized to use 1 or 2 in the normal course of events, I would suspect. All right.
Yeah,
So-
I think the odds of mutation turning into good cards will be high enough that people might want to do it for packs that they don't necessarily like.
Yeah, as I understand it, these are all non-alchemy cards that are legal on the Arena client. So really anything can show up, anything, which is cuckoo crazy.
I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that are going to look up Scryfall and like figure out what cards they could possibly turn into and use that to inform their decision. So there's lots of things that can be done for research to see if it's worth it or not.
But I think there was Kanye West who said, when you try hard, that's when you die hard, right? So this is TMNT League. Try to have fun with it. Don't spend too much time making your eyes blurry on Scryfall, trying to game out every possible permutation. Just have fun with it. All right, so at the end of the first 3-week league, what happens? I mean, during the Avatar League, Jordan had week 4 be this dramatic cutoff point where Sozan's comet fell and there was a mass elimination, and then the survivors had to make teams. There was a little bit of pushback on that, in that people thought that moving from one kind of tournament to another was a bit jarring. It was a bit of like a so it threw some people off who were doing well in the first part, who didn't do as well in the second part, and maybe it felt a little bit unfair. How are these 2 mini tournaments connected to each other? What happens when the first one ends?
So the first thing I'll say is that because this is a 6-week league, we still have to find a way to represent winners. So instead of a top 16, what we're doing is we're taking the top 8 in season 1 and the top 8 in season 2 and giving them their own mega drafts.
Okay.
So at the end of season 1, the top 8 actually end up joining Shredder's army of elite Foot Clan ninjas. So they qualify for their own mega draft, but then they also they are essentially, they will not be participating in season 2 because they are part of Shredder's army. So
season 2 focuses on something different.
Yes. So season 1, the theme is that it's people, we're all vying to be part of the Foot Clan. And so the top 8 succeed at that and join Shredder's army, and everyone else essentially flees into exile, and we in season 2 are trying to save the turtles and essentially be good guys. So the connection between the 2 seasons is what I think is one of my favorite parts of the design that I proposed, which is so in season 1, your starting pool is 4 TMT packs and then 2 that you mutated. Well, in season 2, it's not new cards. It's actually, you're taking your 4 TMT packs from season 1, and those are getting mutated, and then 2 new TMT packs are being added to that to create. Well, so I guess there are some new cards, but the vibe of the pool is going to feel similar because all your cards will just be different cards of the same color type TMT. So there's some elements of the pool that are still there, but they've been mutated.
Right.
So
everything's getting mutated all the time in this tournament, it sounds like.
Yep. Mutation.
Awesome. I love chaos, so this is right up my alley.
Yeah. Mutation was the core thing that essentially, when I came up with mutation, I wanted to essentially be more chaotic, but in a fun way. Because again, Spider-Man League is kind of the only thing that we have to compare to when it comes to a set of this size in the modern day play booster era. So I actually, when I originally pitched mutation, I was thinking of opening a TMT pack and then letting the user, the player, choose a rarity in the pack to mutate. But we decided to just go through to the entire pack and really embrace it that way. So
I think it's more exciting, frankly, to mutate the whole pack. Just go wild with it, and it makes it more of a robust choice, because otherwise it might be part of the pack that you want to hang on to and part that you don't care about, and it becomes less of a dramatic sacrifice. This is like you're just all in. I'm dumping this whole pack into the ooze and seeing what comes out. So I think that's pretty cool. About the top 8 from the first half, who have to face the top 8 from the second half. Obviously, the top 8 in the second half won't have top 8 in the first half, and therefore they're engaged in both tournaments. They get double the value, the play value of their experience. What about the poor top 8ers from the first half? Are they just sitting on their hands for the entire second half?
No. So this is one of the last mechanics that we kind of decided to introduce, which is in the second season, any players who reach 9 match wins, going for that 10th match win, you have to play a match against a top 8 from the previous season, a member of Shredder's army, and they're actually using their final season 1 deck, their trophy deck, against you. So
the best of the best.
Sorry?
The best of the best.
Yeah, exactly. To note, you only have to do 1 game. So if you lose that game, you can play out the rest of your matches against other people in the season 2 league. But once you reach 9 wins and are going for that 10th, your first game has to be against someone from Shredder's army. So this was our way of kind of keeping Shredder's Army out of season 2, but still giving them ways to play in the second season. That being said, so this match is actually somewhat important because the prize pools of the two mega drafts will change based on the results of all these matches between Shredder's Army and these stalwart turtles, or whatever we're calling the members of season 2. As whoever wins more games between those two will determine, the prize pools of the two mega drafts.
Right. So Shredder's Army has a reason to fight hard in the second half because the mega drafts are basically going to be good versus evil in that sense, I suppose, in that sort of black and white way that Turtles universe kind of presents them. And they'll be playing for varying pots based on how many wins the villains can steal from the emerging heroes in episode 2 or season 2. So that's interesting. Wow. There's a lot to think about there. There's a lot to unpack. It sounds exciting. Does the Mega Draft have a shape yet? Do the finals have a plan?
Yes. So we are. Steve has done most of the legwork for this, but we have come up with a new way to do a mega draft.
Exciting.
So it's not as simple as you have 6 packs and you have to build this 60 card deck. It's actually going to have an additional wrinkle, which I won't say too much other than it will also include mutation. So we will probably talk about that a little more as we get closer to the mega drafts. But it is going to be a little more advanced than a normal mega draft.
I think we can spoil it a bit. I mean, it's been tried now, and it's pretty clear that we can be able to do this in the next 6 weeks. I think we can go out and spill the beans on this one. I think it's going to get people excited. Do you want to be the one to give it to us?
Sure. So Steve came up with this tech. It's incredibly cool. He has I think it's a custom Draftmancer server or bot or something, and essentially it'll be 6 TMT packs that you start with, but as each player either opens a pack or makes a pick, the pack will have a card randomly selected and mutated, much like mutation happens in this league, as it's passed. So I open my pack. There's one card that is not TMT, and let's say I don't pick that card and I pick a different card. Then when that pack is passed, it'll then randomly mutate another card. So there'll be 2 non-TMT cards in that pack. And this will happen for every single pick. And so it's going to basically mutate every pack, every pick, and create this situation where you never really know what's coming your way because a card could be mutated that the person next to you didn't see. And so I'm really excited to see it play out. And I'm definitely, if I don't make this mega draft, I will be tuning in to watch because this mechanic looks so cool.
Yeah, this is really this is the cherry on the top of mutation cake. This sounds very exciting to me. There's no more of how is this still in the pack, because you know what, it wasn't in the pack. It just popped into the pack, and I think that it's an appropriately chaotic ending for a chaotic league. And again, for the people who are worried about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sort of being this cloistered, closed-off little set like Spider-Man was, I think that we're letting a lot of air into the room with these mechanics. I've been pushing for the longest time for all the cards on Arena to have some appearance in our Gauntlet League series. And this might be the first league that has the kind of set completeness that I've been craving for so long. Jumpstart cards are in here. Finally. All the bonus sheet cards are in here. Finally. All the Anthologies cards are in here, finally. All the Planeswalker exclusive cards are in here, finally. All the Arena beginner sets are in here, finally. All of the cards that are craftable from the Power Cube on Arena are here, finally. We are getting an insane opportunity to play with just the best, wackiest cards that Magic has to offer. And also it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So for people who are excited about that, you're still going to see a lot of turtle power, but you're going to see a lot of power too, like old school MTG power hitting our digital platform. And like you say, this league is something that we could only do online, right? It's a term we could only offer online. We couldn't do this in a local game store, and it's due to tech wizards like yourself and Steve T, who make it all possible. So, in terms of like the technological side of things, was this a particularly heavy lift tech-wise compared to other tournaments you've worked on?
I think Steve would be the one to ask, because the mutation is probably the heaviest part of this, and he's already got that. As you may have seen, we shadow dropped a channel to kind of showcase mutation. So he's already got that,
Tongues are
well
wagging.
underway.
Tongues are wagging already about what the mysterious ooze is and what it can do.
Yep.
Well,
Yep. Thematically, what we're doing is we're dumping ooze on these TMT packs, and that's what's causing him to mutate. So,
absolutely fantastic. Is there any detail I left out from the rule set that you'd like to throw in?
me.
Or have we covered it all?
Yeah, I don't think we missed anything.
All right.
It's other than the mutation being complex. It's a fairly straightforward league. I do think that splitting the 6 weeks into two and tying them together in some way is something that I want to see if it works the way that I intend it to work, and see if like we want to try that again in the future, because it's a way to keep things interesting while still filling the 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that,
Because like Sozin's comment was, I think, really well received. It was just, it forced you to stop playing with your deck,
right.
and switch gears. Whereas this one, because we're treating them as 3 week leagues, there's a stopping point for each one, so it's not as jarring, I think.
Yeah, I guess that the closest thing I can think of in recent design history was Ether Drift, right? Where you had sort of three planes that you were navigating through. And we went through, basically, week one was plane A, week two was plane B, week 4 and 5 were plane C, week 5 was plane B, then we returned to plane A in week 6. And I think each of these planes had a different effect on what packs you could collect and what conditions you were racing under. So this is we've been playing in this space for a little while now, but I don't think we've ever had like a 3 and 3, like a 6 week league that is 3 week leagues basically stapled together with some, let's say, flavor glue, right, that holds the episodes together. Some common threads, some cards that are the same that get mutated. So yeah, I'm excited to see if this keeps the set fresh in a way that people right now are talking about Lorwyn Eclipsed, despite being a beloved Magic plane and IP. Not quite as fresh as they would like, right? They're finding that they're getting stuck in this sort of tribal archetypes, and it's basically, is my tribal archetype better than your tribal archetype? Let's fight. And another thing we had with another concern we're sort of hearing with Lorwyn Eclipsed is that there isn't enough chaos in it, right? We start off with 6 packs of chaos, but it's not enough. The beginning of the tournament is as chaotic as it's going to get, and it's just going to get less and less chaotic as things move on. That was just too much Lorwyn for too long. And so I think the people who are looking for novelty of play experience probably going to get a lot more from this tournament than they did in Lorwyn Eclipsed. As long as they're willing to bite that flavor pill hard and accept Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into their lives.
Well, I hope they'll join us.
Yeah, me too. Look, do you want to speak to any of your? You said that this tournament didn't turn out exactly the way that you would have wanted. That you had to, kill some of your darlings to get it out the door past the LC. So, are there any ideas that were left on the chopping room floor that you want to talk about, or anything about
Well, I
the?
mentioned that the original comeback idea I had was to mutate rare, some like one rarity. Like if you pick your commons, you can mutate those and keep the rare and the uncommon. But we settled on mutating the entire pack because that was more interesting. Um,
Do you agree that's more
I
interesting, or
also,
do you regret kind of not like? Do you regret not stepping harder in that direction to mutate part of a pack?
yeah. Um,
Like, is that part where the committee made it better, or where the committee kind of compromised your vision?
I think it made it better. I I think that what I was trying to do was a little bit more complicated and didn't quite the what we landed on. I think is a better way to represent the mechanic flavorfully and kind of add more chaos to the situation. So
Probably
I
more.
liked it.
I think so. I think
I
it's more
had
exciting for the player, from the player's point of view too, right? It's a bit like, it's a bit more dramatic. It's a bigger rush,
yes.
and it's also a bigger burn if you strike out.
Yes, exactly. And I also had similar ideas with like mutating TMT into another standard legal set, or like so like instead of just being from any card on Arena, kind of being able to pick the set that you mutated it into, and that didn't really land with the committee as much because they were afraid of gaming or other concerns, and so a lot of this taught me lessons in like as designers, what are we trying to achieve? Some lessons that make gameplay more fun for the players, that sort of thing. So they were all really good lessons, which I'll take forward with me. Um, I think a lot of the other stuff was kind of mostly in my proposal and just slightly modified. So I don't know if I had to like kill them per se.
Right.
Um, so
There was one thing. There was one thing that you put your foot down, and you said, "Look, if this one rule is not obeyed, I'm taking my toys and I'm walking home, and it's over." So what was the one design rule that you insisted on? And maybe you can explain what was your reasoning behind that? Because I think that's an interesting story. Because I mean, I as a main designer of the past have also had these moments where I'm like, this is my concept. This is the pitch. If you don't like this, it just doesn't work, right? And to save the tournament from going down the toilet, we need to not do or to do this one thing. So, what was this one thing for you this time, and what do you feel about it in retrospect?
are you talking about no alchemy?
I am talking about no alchemy because this was the one tournament where
I
I was
I
like,
put my foot down and I said no alchemy, even
yeah,
though you can mutate into any card.
yeah,
I just don't like alchemy, and so I was saying if I have the lead, I have the final say.
yeah. Where your one veto
You know,
stick was raised at that point. No, no
yeah,
alchemy. So again, was a surprising thing for me because I hate alchemy too. Cards on the table, and this was the one league where I'm like, this is just crazy enough that maybe alchemy cards could slip in. But I think that you wisely pulled me back from the very edge of insanity, because now I'm much more excited about the league than I would be if I just like knew I'd be running into alchemy cards in the wild, because I think they're inherently unbalanced. And yes, there are lots
yeah,
of other magic cards from lots of other sets that are inherently unbalanced, but none with the same degeneracy and regularity of alchemy cards. It just seems that even the commons are just out of this world. The uncommons are crazy, and some of the rares and mythics are just inexcusable. So, I, for one, commend your moral bravery in drawing a line and saying you shall not pass alchemy cards. I think that might be the hidden ingredient that saves the fun of the tournament for a lot of people. But some people
yeah. I
will
mean,
accuse me of
look,
having a fear of change.
the
But
mutation picks paper legal cards. Like cards that exist on paper and on Arena for the most part. I mean, I think there are some exceptions.
7, I
But
think.
alchemy was not, sorry, paper was not balanced with alchemy in mind, and vice versa.
Right.
So if we throw alchemy cards in and people open a couple busted alchemy cards and that defines their pool, that's not something that I want to achieve. So I said no.
Given all this experience, would you be excited to be the main designer in a further tournament, or have you had enough? Or are you gonna take a
No,
little break
I
for a while?
this was a great experience, and I want to lead design for a full set instead of a small one. I think the small one was a good way to kind of understand what goes into designing a league. Um, but I tried to keep it on the simpler side. Have a mechanic that people can wrap their head around, but has room to grow, and then kind of um, make it still interesting. But I would love to take on design for a large set and maybe come up with some more complex mechanics and interesting agency choices, and sky's the limit. I'm definitely interested in doing another one after this. We'll see if people like this one and whether or not I deserve that honor. But
Well, given that the tech implementation is smooth and painless, I think that mutation is a league tournament mechanic that will be talked about for years to come. Right? It's going to be one of those ones that is going to be very sticky in people's memory. We haven't had anything like it before, and we're covering a lot of new territory with it. So I can't help but think that. Yeah, this is going to be one to play and it's going to be one to remember. And without it, it may have been a set that I, like the prof, would have been tempted to sit on the sidelines for or just phone it in. So thank you, Stephen, for your work, both in the conceptualization and the tech implementation to get this tournament off the ground. And thanks
yep,
for
of
having the
course.
time to speak with me today about it. I'm sure that the players are excited to listen to this information at the tail end of Lauren Eclipsed tournament. So without further ado, I'm going to say my final thanks and then turn this over to them.
All right.
Thanks for your time, man. See you again soon.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.